Topping today's news, work set to begin on the new Grand Bahama International Airport. The new state-of-the-art police vehicles donated by the United States hits the streets in the fight against crime. The Consumer Protection Commission concerned about increasing banking fees, and an all-female boxing show in aid of the iconic boxer Ray Manus Jr. coming to town in a couple weeks. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jcn Saunders. This is your Jcn Evening News. It's a pleasure to have you join us. During construction of Phase 1 of the Grand Bahama International Airport, GBIA, which is set to begin this month, 300 construction jobs will be created with another 50 engineering, management, and accounting jobs. So says Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper. The Deputy Prime Minister revealing this at the 2023 Grand Bahama Business Outlook on Thursday at the Grand Lucayan Resort. He says Phase 1 of the $200 million project is expected to be completed no later than April of 2025. The Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Cooper, says one of the critical components to getting the Grand Lucayan sold is to have a world-class international airport that can accommodate U.S. pre-clearance.
Grand Bahama, your new airport is coming and will be here very soon. In February, the government of the Bahamas entered an agreement with Aerodrome Limited, a Bahamian company, Manchester Airport Group Limited, an airport management company based in Manchester in the UK, and BHM Construction International Company based in London. And we expect financing to be provided by the UK Export Finance, UKEF.
The Deputy Prime Minister noting that these three companies, they represent a consortium that successfully bid to design, finance, build, operate, maintain, and redevelop the airport. Additionally, the consortium will also generate traffic to grow revenue and further enhance the Grand Bahama International Airport.
Their mission is to transform GBIA into a carbon-neutral, climate-resilient, commercially viable, world-class airport.
Phase 2 will consist of new expanded taxiways and aprons, a new domestic parallel runway, new expanded roads and car parks, and a new and expanded heavy lift air freight cargo center. Phase 2 is expected to get off the ground within 2 years of the commencement of Phase 1. According to Deputy Prime Minister Cooper, the construction of the Grand Bahama International Airport is expected to generate 1,200 construction jobs consistently over the next 5 years. 90% of these jobs will be reserved for Bahamians, and work permits will only be granted where Bahamians cannot be found in accordance with the Bahamas' immigration laws and policies. As the Royal Bahamas Police Force steps up its saturation patrols, its Operation Ceasefire Division adds 10 new SUVs to its fleet of vehicles. The new Ford Jeeps set to hit the streets are outfitted with the latest technology to fight crime. Police Press Liaison Officer Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings telling us more.
Earlier this year, we were graced with 20 vehicles that were donated, and this is the first 10 that we're actually releasing today. These 10 vehicles are going to assist in actually crime fighting. These are the latest in technology as it relates to police vehicles. You will find that worldwide law enforcement officers are moving to the SUV type vehicles. These vehicles are an estimated $150,000. They are outfitted with the latest in technology, and they're also outfitted with guards to prevent officer safety as they traverse the streets of New Providence.
The SUVs are part of the 20 vehicles donated earlier in the year by the United States government and valued at a cost of over $1.8 million. The Ford vehicles are designed with safety in mind, state-of-the-art communication systems, and is also able to traverse on all terrains. As the month of March is deemed Police Month, Chief Superintendent Skipping says the vehicles come at a very pivotal time.
During this month, we're celebrating Police Month, and so these vehicles come at a timely time as we continue with our operations during the month of March, which has yielded significant results. Thus far, the Operation Ceasefire Unit alone has actually recovered 30 plus firearms from the streets of New Providence yet to date. And so with these vehicles, we're going to see more of an aggressive style policing. We're going to be intentional in our approach to criminals. And so the criminals, I want you to know that we are coming to get you, because we are going to ensure that this Bahamas remains safe for everyone who live and visit this country.
According to a press officer, these SUVs are in the first installment for the upgrades to the Royal Bahamas Police Force fleet of vehicles in the coming years. A 31-year-old male is in hospital nursing injuries to his leg after he was shot by a man known to him on Thursday morning. Police say shortly after 9 a.m., the victim was at a business establishment in the area of Robinson Road when he was approached by the male, who then produced a handgun and shot him in the leg. The suspect subsequently fled the scene in an unknown direction. EMS personnel responded to the scene and transported the victim to the Princess Margaret Hospital, where he is listed in stable condition. Investigations continue into this matter. Meanwhile, police are appealing to members of the public who may have information regarding this matter or any criminal matter to contact the police at 328-TIPS, 328-8477. And finally, in this segment, it's still a no for one member of the Davis administration when it comes to that multi-million-dollar Royal Caribbean International, or RCI, Beach Club project, which is on the western end of Paradise Island. Education and Technical and Vocational Training Minister Glenys Hannah Martin is still opposed to the idea, continuing to stand on the views she held while in opposition concerning the proposal given to the Minnis administration. In 2021, while in opposition, the now minister labeled the proposal as a harebrained scheme.
My views have not changed. I truly believe, first of all, the cruise industry does not require an island on New Providence. I mean, what we should be doing is developing the cultural and entrepreneurial opportunities for the cruise ship, the visitors, when they disembark. They keep saying there's nothing to do. Well, let's get something done. I mean, that argument has run a long time and it's shaped policy in a different direction. We need to see how we can get that going.
In 2021, while in opposition, the now minister labeled the proposal as harebrained.
I said from day one that the Bahamian participant in this whole picture had to be front and center. Now I'm hearing, the Prime Minister has indicated that talks are continuing with him, but certainly he was part of this. This is a deal that we inherited from the Free National Movement administration. I did not support it then. My views have not changed on it. I think that I hear the former Prime Minister criticizing it, but if he says it was tied to Grand Bahama, well, when Grand Bahama failed, why is he arguing now it's tied to Grand Bahama? And he was proceeding with it when the Grand Bahama deal was clearly not going anywhere. So he's speaking out of two sides of his mouth. I don't think that's something we should appreciate. But certainly I believe that that we have to be, in our national development, we have to be very circumspect and careful about how we move forward, particularly as it relates to land.
Minister Hannah Martin, while in opposition, also criticized the Minnis administration, accusing them, then Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, of kicking a Bahamian developer to the curb, as Bahamian entrepreneur Toby Smith was seeking to acquire 2 acres of Crown land on Paradise Island to develop his own beach club. The approval granted to RCI earlier this month includes 17 acres of land, of which 4 acres are Crown land. Minister Hannah Martin says the Crown land should be carefully utilized, as it is in a limited resource and it's owned by the Bahamian people. At the beginning of March, the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper, announced that approval had been granted to RCI for its $100 million Paradise Island Beach Club. However, while in opposition, the Progressive Liberal Party condemned the proposal, with then opposition leader Philip Davis declaring that a PLP government would cancel any lease of Crown land granted to RCI. However, DPM Cooper says the government intends to convert the Crown land portion into an equity stake in the project, which will be conveyed into the Sovereign Wealth Fund. We'll actually take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.